Welcome, great agents from across the country. Today is April 28th. I got the month right. This call, Tim. April 28th, 2016, and this is Mastermind call number 72. As always, we have a great turnout. We do not have any questions in the queue yet, so please, questions, comments, frustrations, successes, hit start. There we go. I cajoled somebody to do it. It looks like somebody from the Carolinas, so good. We do have one person in the queue, and we usually have time on these calls for 5 or 6 people to participate, guys. So please don't be bashful. Hit *6 and then hit 1.
Hey, Jim, we've got several new people on, and I want to answer or comment on something that we occasionally get in from people about their leads, and it came up again today from a customer support question. Thought I'd answer it today.
Sure.
Start us off with that. When you get your leads, this is primarily for you folks that are new. We deliver them to you in a .csv file. That stands for comma separated values. You don't need to worry about the text side. You can open that file in Excel, and it'll open up perfectly to do that. But when you do, you'll notice that the columns for the phone numbers usually have asterisks in them as though there's no data in there. What that means in Excel is that the data is too wide for the cell, and we don't control how Excel opens up the file. All you have to do is open the width of the column a little wider, and you'll see that all the numbers are there. But we got another question this morning from a brand new subscriber who had asked that question and was concerned that they didn't have phone numbers. All they saw were X's. And all you got to do is open that up. Just either double click on the side of the cell at the top, or just drag it to the right. And if you need some help doing that, we'll certainly help you. But the data is in there. If you see the X's, it doesn't mean that we didn't give it to you. It just means you're not seeing it.
Great. And to add to that, Tim, I haven't heard this lately, but we used to get a lot of comments from people that when are my leads coming, and we would check and say, you got them a week ago. So if you haven't already done so, make sure the spam filters are getting better and better out there. Make sure you whitelist us so when your leads do come, they're not going to go into your spam folder. So we'll normally give you an estimated delivery date on the leads, and that's usually pretty close. And if you're ever wondering, did I get the leads, did I miss the email, they're also posted on the back end of your website. Just go to your members area, enter your email and your password, and go to downloads, and you'll see a link there to every set of leads you've ever received. And That's good also if you're traveling. You've always got access to your leads as long as you've got access to a computer. Thought I would mention that also. Chad is in South Carolina at a conference today. He's with a really powerful group of agents and really teaching them a lot about what we do and how to be successful with probate. Chad, anything from your conference or anything from a training perspective that you want to share with the group?
It's one I guess I'll talk about the common things that are coming up here that come up on a lot of our calls and stuff. I mean, I'm in a mastermind group of 30 really pretty high-level agents, and what's surprising to me, they still don't have cash buyers. They're still intimidated by getting cash buyers. That's something we spent the last hour on. Is just I kind of taught people how to build that list. And it's a lot of the past mastermind calls and stuff. We give you guys ideas, but what's been really interesting here is as people have listened to me speak, they're just the agents and investors in the room are just blown away because you can see light bulbs going off through the room when they see the power of actually putting the customer first and focusing more on options than talking about yourself. So, what are the customer specific problems? What unique value can I bring, me and my team, and when you see that light bulb go off, when people realize, holy crap, I could do this in all my business. And that's kind of the tone of this group and what they're taught to, be able to help in multiple ways. And that's what we teach. So if you guys if you don't feel like you've gotten that dialed in where you can bring a cash offer to families who really need that quick solution, where you can get homes cleaned out and get that taken care of, where you can bring in a financial advisor and help them, the next generation, escape probate, or bring in an estate planning attorney and help them put everything into a trust so the next time they don't have to go through it. Like that seems to be the most surprising thing, even to high level agents. You know, that's the epiphany is I could do a better job, and it insulates you against your competition. It makes you the only realtor in the world when you really get that dialed in. So for anybody new or if you've been with us for a while, if you don't feel like you can provide those multiple options, get yourself there. It's going to take a little bit of extra work, but it will stick with you for the rest of your career, and it'll pay off hundredfold when you can get yourself to that level where you aren't just talking about you and how you market homes and your listing presentation. When you focus everything, all your energy on the client and their problem, it's amazing the shift that happens, and you start to attract business. So that's kind of like the biggest thing people have been coming up to me talking about, like, oh my gosh, that's so cool how you do that, and so anyway, I just thought I would share that. That's something that's fresh in my head because I've been seeing it all week.
You know, one thing you said, Chad, that we hear a lot too, and a great point is once you put that team together, the resources that you're going to build for probate, the skills that you build for probate will carry through into the rest of your business. You know, I talk to a number of REO agents, and I start going over the team, and they go, "Oh, yeah, I got them. This is easy compared to REO because at least you don't need all of these people on every single deal." And there will be standard transactions when people are retired and they got a house full of stuff you need help with. So, you know, the service, what you're saying, the mentality, the team you put together, and the mentality will really coming from, you know, putting them first and how can I help will really carry through to every other FSBOs, expires, every other source of business that you prospect. So it's not probate specific. I think it's a great point. I want to two other things. Chad is on the road. We are going to start. We are kind of taking our show on the road. Chad and I are going to be in Orlando, and then we'll be in Galveston, Texas. We'll be in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I think we're going to be in Orlando again. So if you're ever just curious what's going on, and the same thing, if any of you ever lose the number for the mastermind call, you want to know when is the next mastermind call, when is the next role play call. On the very top of our website, there's a tab that says calendar. And you just click on that tab, open it up, and every call we're doing, every training, whether it's Chad's Mastery or a role play or a mastermind call or, you know, we're actually going to be in your area, it's all listed right there on the calendar. So, and if you see we're going to be in your area, please make a point of coming by with an NAR conference or triple play or any of those events. We'd like to meet you guys face to face. And then, Tim, I wanted to throw it back to you real quick. That's going to be on the new website, which is rolling out. Do you want to share with them a little bit when the website's coming out? And
sure. Actually, we're doing the final quality control on it this week, and it's not just, you know, we're excited about putting a new website out and updating our look and feel and all that. The value of it, more importantly for the folks on this call, is that we're dramatically changing the subscriber area, making it a lot easier to use, and so we're excited about putting it out. We're doing, like I said, the final QC on it this week. We rolled it out internally to all of ourselves, the partners, and our team last week at our summit. We're doing some last-minute touch-up on it right now, and as soon as Chad gets back from his journey, we got a little more feedback from him that's coming, and got some from Tom this morning, and we're kicking it on. So we're hopeful that next week this will be turned on, and you guys will get access to it. But I think you'll find it to be dramatically easier to deal with and a richer trove of information for you. We'll be updating the videos and all of that are in it now, which kind of talk about how to use it, because we want to update them with all the new information that's there. So we'll be updating those as soon as we go to final release, and Chad gets time to get that done as well, and all the other stuff that he's doing. But yeah, we're very excited about that.
Excellent. Well, I have a question, but before I get to that, we have someone who's been patiently waiting in the queue. And please, guys, we have time for 3, 4, or 5 other people. *6 and then hit 1. If you want to make a comment, question, anything you want to contribute to the call today, hit *6 and then hit 1. And I'm going to go to there we go. We got a second person. Thank you. Phone number ending in 8265. You're up.
Hey. It's Lynette Jackson from Vancouver, Washington. How are you?
Action Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Chad asked me to pop on today just to kind of share my story. I just had a fantastic email the other day that I shared with Chad. I sent out my letters. It's the first, about the 10th of the month for April, and I just received an email from a gal down in Fremont, California, who advised me that my letter came at the perfect time, that they are planning a trip up here on May 7th, that she had just gotten her court order to go ahead and make plans to sell the home, that she has permission to sell the home from the courts. And so I'm meeting with her on May 7th and hopefully taking the listing.
Awesome. Great story.
Yeah.
What's her biggest stress, Lynette?
I think it's the fact that she's so far away.
So the personal property is probably going to be something that's really got her stressed out, like how they're going to deal with it.
Right.
So just be prepared to remind her that you've got her back. You've got a safety net, and she doesn't have to lift a finger. You and your estate sale company can do everything.
Right.
And that's the most comforting thing in the world to somebody who's out of town and really doesn't have time, and they don't know what they want to do with the property. They don't want it all to go to the dump. Show her that you've got an avenue to get it donated to churches or the Habitat Restore, or through you and your estate sale company. Give her because there's a lot of emotions attached to that. And one of our subscribers is here in the Mastermind that I'm in. And his own father passed away last year, and none of the family wanted the furniture. His wife wouldn't let him bring anything to his house, and he's like, I just didn't do a damn thing for 6 months because I couldn't stomach throwing away the kitchen table that I grew up eating at. He's like, I didn't do anything, and I'm like, that's what we call probate quicksand. And he, eventually he just had to, on his own, because his realtor didn't do anything to help him, he ended up having to find places to donate all the property himself and coordinate all that. So as a real estate professional, that can be one of the most emotional things. Like, they could care, they usually will care more about that than they even do about the price. And it's kind of unbelievable, but they just want, they want to know that someone's got their back. So just keep those things in mind. Find out what are her, what's causing her the most stress, and be that solution. And that's usually through one of your team members, your estate sale company, your title company. You just kind of layer in how they can really help her situation.
And actually, you mentioning that, I did ask her if that was an important step, and she said absolutely, because they do plan to conduct an estate sale. So I actually will have someone from the estate sale company that I use with me that morning. So we can, because we're only going to be in town for 2 days, and I just want her to get as much information as possible to help their family, and then hopefully it'll be a no-brainer, and you'll be like, where's the paperwork? Let's sign this. And get it. And the fact that you had said that, too, I actually had my first probate close last Friday, and that was the situation there where they tried to do a garage sale, and then they finally ended up just donating everything to the Humane Society has a store. But just, again, that process, any way that I can help with that so that they're not just, like you said, dragging their feet and not making a decision at all is helpful.
Right.
Lynette, does your
good work.
Sale, excellent job. Does your estate sale company, do they purchase the items themselves, or do they purchase and then do they hold a garage sale, or how do they do it?
They actually throw an estate sale, and they will actually, if depending on the estate, they will actually auction off per room if need be, which means that the person who wins that room has to clean out that room completely. So they leave nothing left in the home at all.
Kind of like the storage locker wars, that's a popular television show. Yeah, you buy it, but you're not buying it sight unseen. The reason I ask, and we've mentioned this several times, but I don't think it's come up in the last few months. We had a subscriber, I think it was last year, we were telling people, for the estate sale, the company's bonded, they're licensed. You don't necessarily need to be there. And one of our subscribers said, you may want to rethink that. She said, I showed up and spent the entire estate sale there. She said, I met 14 of the neighbors, and I ended up listing 2 of their properties.
Wow. Yeah, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah, because you think about it, when you have a garage sale, yard sale, everybody in the neighborhood shows up and buys each other's junk. So
exactly.
it's like,
And well, in this particular neighborhood is that this home is in is a lot of retired people. You know, it's a single level home, it's a 3-car garage, you know, and I drove through there the other day, and it's a beautiful community, and it is lot of retired people. So, yeah, any way I can get my
kind of like just sold prospecting, but they're coming to you. You're
right,
stationary,
exactly.
and they come to you.
Yeah.
So
and
great,
mind you, I use the mailbox motivator. And I know Chad has said in the past not to go through your list of leads, but I do take a day to go through my leads because I do find that about anywhere from 10 to 20 homes have already been sold or are pending.
But, all right, you brought it up, so I'm going to challenge you. Do you work buyers?
Do I work buyers? Yes. I prefer to.
Okay. So if I told you that the average inheritance is $177,000, and you know that the executor is getting a good sizable chunk of that, do you think they're going to buy something?
Oh, that's true.
Shouldn't you have a conversation with them?
Yes, you're
maybe,
right.
Maybe you kick them to a financial advisor and he puts together a college savings plan for the kids, but maybe they sell their house and list it with you to buy the house they've always dreamed of. So probate it's about, understand what position the executor's in. So many people make the mistake of just making this list about a house. Who gives a damn about the house? It's about the people. So if you put the people first and think, okay, how can I as a professional step out and help these people in any way possible, whether I get paid or not, how can I help them? And so, there's tons of ways. The ones that don't own real estate, so what? We know they're getting cash money. Maybe they want to loan money to you at 10% so you can start flipping houses as the opportunities arise. Maybe they want to buy a house. Maybe they want to meet your financial advisor partner and he can send you referrals of people who he set trusts up for that won't ever come through probate. So you indirectly get those listing referrals by talking to the buyers. So there's so much opportunity here if you just put the people out front and forget about the house. Like you'll have plenty of opportunities to work with houses, and that's another big topic we've covered here today. And it's just light bulbs go off when people really start to think, oh yeah, I guess that could happen. So it's a box of chocolates. Pick up the phone, have the conversations, and just have fun with it. Like, who can I help today and how? And just know most of them are all getting some amount of cash.
Yeah. No, that's good advice. I appreciate that. I kind of knew I was going to get slapped a little bit.
Thank you for being brave and for letting Chad make an example of you. But you're way more of a good example. You've taken action. You've already put 2 deals together in a very short period of time. So
good job. Even though you did that, you still got good business, even though you scrubbed. But I know you can do more with it. That's why I'm saying that.
Right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
We got so much for letting me share my little story.
Thank you for doing it. We have 2 more people in the queue. That's great. Phone number ending in 3199. You are up.
Yes, it's Jim. Excuse me, I have a cold. Jim Gilbert from Southwest Florida, and I haven't even received my first set of leads yet, but I have been working on putting my team together, and I wanted to share something. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but I had a title/attorney company that I've been working with, and I'd actually closed 3 deals with them this year. So I dropped one of the title ladies an email and asked them about if their attorney would be interested in working with me as I pursue these the probate. And it wasn't 15 minutes later my phone rang, and it's this attorney, and I'm explaining everything to him, and he says, oh yeah, he said, I'd love to work with you. And he says, by the way, he said, I'll be sending you some business too, some leads. And so while I had him on the phone, I thought, well, would you know anybody that would be cash investors? He said, how many do you want?
I love it.
He said, I've got a whole list of them. He said, whenever you need one, he said, you just call me. I was so impressed, on my first, company was setting setting up the team. It just went so good.
Well, that's great. You should compare notes with Roger in Arkansas. Roger was very reluctant prospector. His very first conversation was with an attorney, ended up being an $8 million listing. So same thing. You got your first conversation with an attorney. It sounds like it went real well. So they always go that way 100% of the time. So you see how easy probate is.
I think that we try, we hold back. We think it's hard. We're making it harder than it actually is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We always make a big story out of everything before we start, right? And you make everything big and scary. And it's so rewarding to us. Like when we hear this stuff from you guys, like I can't help. I get cold chills. I'm just smiling because it's like, see, if you just do it, there's so many opportunities in this because so many people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone and do something that no one else has taught for 30 years. So for everybody on this call, kudos to you for being an early adopter. This is the biggest opportunity in real estate in our careers, and hardly anyone is competing with you. So good for you guys that are stepping out and doing it, because if you take this seriously and you get it built right, you can retire off of this.
Excellent, Jim. Well, thank you for sharing. We have one more person in the queue, and we probably have time for one or two more. So, again, hit *6 and hit 1, and you will be up next. In the meantime, phone number that ends in 6452. You're up.
Thank you for taking my call. I apparently need to move out of California and into other states because it's not quite that easy here. It's very competitive. But, we don't get a lot of leads in the area that I'm in. I got a few from you guys, and we actually we're in a deal with one. The problem that I'm having is the executor is the sister. She lives in the mom's house. The brother lives in Vegas. He's the one who contacted us, and she is a hoarder, and she's going through every piece of stuff that her mom has. I mean, we've tried everything. We've suggested even moving it into a storage unit that we have so she could take forever because the brother wants to sell the property. And the main problem that we're having is in the last 3 weeks that since we originally made the contact, they say they want to, they definitely want to put the property on the market. They definitely want to use us. But I don't know if there's been a seminar that's come through town, but he told me he's gotten like 20 letters from investors and realtors who are all like into probate now. So I don't know. How could we speed this process up? Because she's not going to get out of the house until she's gone through every piece of silver and every, knick-knack that her mom has. And I understand that, but it's just kind of frustrating. My brother wants it done, and my partner and I want it done quick.
Do you have a relationship with the sister? Are you in contact with her?
Yes, yeah. We actually never met the brother. It's all been on telephone with the brother, but we have met the sister. Both my partner and I have been over there multiple times to see her.
Is any of the property valuable, or is it just all junk?
It's all, obviously there's some furniture and stuff in there that's probably got a little value, but most of it's just junk. It's not. I've seen hoarders before. I've been doing this for 20-some years, and we did a lot of REO, and you saw a lot of stuff. So it's not that bad, but it's just boxes and boxes of her mother's stuff everywhere.
Yep. So it's a tough one. Like you've got to tiptoe around emotions. Like if she has spent her whole life in that house, and she has a high sentimental value on all that property, it's a balance. And the reason I ask if you know her, like if you have solid rapport with her, the first thing I try to do in every one of these is put a target date, put a plan. So are you going to clean out the personal property, or is that something you want me to do for you using my estate sale company? And we present it as we're going to do it, and we just use our estate sale partner. But once I get them to commit to either doing it themselves or doing it with the estate sale company, then I nail them to a target date. So is that next week? Is that next month? Like, when is that? And that, everything hinges around that date, because you can't sell it with her in there and all that stuff. So, and it's usually I call it probate quicksand because you can usually slowly pull people through it, and in their best interest until they're on the other side, and then they're like, oh, why didn't I do that a year ago? So try to get her to a target date, like try to get her to commit to a date. And then once you have the date, put the plan in place, whether it's her doing it, you doing it, a combination of both, and then hold her accountable, just like you would in any part of your business. But check in with her and say, hey, Polly, I just wanted to make sure that everything's coming along okay. We've got photographers scheduled for June 1st. Are we going to hit that date still? And just keep on her and lightly apply some pressure. And what I find is when you put that light pressure on them, and again, it's always if you feel like it's in her best interest to get the home cleaned out and move on. If you think that she's just torn down and grieving and it's not good for her mental health, then back off. It's just one deal. But it's usually not the case. Like 9.5 times out of 10, it's uncomfortable and they're not doing what they know they should be doing, so they need your help. But try to put a date to it, put a plan to it. And if that doesn't work, backing off might be the right thing to do. If I were going to back off, I would still get a listing agreement signed with a future date. So I would date the listing agreement today for a 12-month term, and then I would put, MLS upload date to be determined. So I'm complying with my brokerage, I'm complying with my MLS rules. I'm listing it. I don't have to upload it. It's like an MLS opt-out.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the listing, so I don't care how many competitors come in behind me or if their mailbox is full every day. I'm the one they're working with. So I would at least get that commitment, and I would sign a 12-month listing agreement and say, listen, we're going to put a significant amount of work in this, and, we've picked our dates just so we can go ahead and get it on the listing schedule. Let's go ahead and sign this, and then you tell me when you want it in MLS. We'll get the photographers out there, and we'll move forward. And I've had to do that before, but try to forward list it and at least get that commitment so you're not worried about, the 25 shysters that are trying to pay her 50 cents on the dollar.
Those are all great suggestions. I was going to add, Chad, that almost every market in the country, you can go rent a storage unit month to month, and the first month is $1. So go.
Oh no, we suggested that. We have a storage unit. We have a storage unit from when we used to do REO that we would just stick the stuff in. And I suggested
the key and say, I'll help you move it there. But So
that was a suggestion. And she's the older sister. The younger brother is the one that's really on the ball, and she's just not. She's just she's been living in the mom's house, lived with mom, but she's the one who's the executor, and she's the one who has to sign the paperwork. But she's way over her head.
I'll go a little bit deeper on this. What is her plan when you sell the house?
Well, she doesn't have a plan. That's it. She can't buy it.
So there's the real problem. That's the root of this. It doesn't have to do with the property at all. So you're kicking her out of her house.
Yeah,
no matter how much she likes you, the fact is you're kicking her out of her house. So rather than try to plan around the personal property, let's focus some attention on how do we plan for her. Do you have any friends who are landlords or property managers?
Oh, yeah, we've got,
All right.
I could get her into a rental.
Let's say, if you could wave a magic wand, and hell, we'll pay your first month's rent just as a good gesture. Like, where do you want to live? What do you want it to look like? Like, do you need a 2-bedroom? And if all this stuff is important to you, gosh, we'll use our moving company to get over there for you. But we know that it's in your best interest and your brother's to go ahead and do this. So understand what her problems are. It sounds to me like she doesn't have a plan for life, and the personal property is a nice trial objection to throw in there to say, oh, it's about the property. So, try that.
You nailed it.
Try to line her up a place to live and help her with her life planning, and then your deal will fall together.
Excellent.
Yeah, see, that's a great idea. I didn't even think about that until I started talking to you guys. That's great. Yeah, thank you very much.
Great solution, Chad. Thank you, sir. We have 2 more in the queue. I will make sure we get to everybody. And I think I recognize this next phone number ending in 8622. Is this Roger? 8622, you're up.
Wonder if this is me, Bill.
Yeah, it must be you. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I thought it was someone else. 593-8622?
That's me. So,
Yes, sir.
Bill
Go ahead.
Wiseman from San Francisco. So, I was wondering if you'd ever had anybody take their team members' pictures and maybe a little bio and put it on their probate website, and whether you'd recommend that.
I think, and this is a conversation that Bud Thompson and I had. He made a really nice trifold flyer, and he actually listed out the team members. So
yeah.
when you're trying to make an initial contact with somebody, I mean, there's, you said you're in San Francisco, so that means there's 500,000 realtors in your backyard, right? So
is there?
You're just making. What's that?
I'm surprised. Yes, there is. There probably are.
Yeah, so I was being facetious, but
Me too.
there are many, many, many realtors that would rather take that listing than see you get it. I promise you that. So by laying all that information out there, you're taking away some of the value that you bring in person. So your website, your letters, your flyers, the only point of any of that stuff is to get an appointment and to start the dialogue. So the more of that you give away, the more they can, cousin Sally who can, who has a real estate license but doesn't know anything about probate, they can use you as your website as a resource and tell Sally to go what to do, to do whatever you're doing. So I think that it's a good idea to name the things that you can do. We can sell your home quickly in a week. We can help you get the personal property sold for the most amount of money and donate the rest to charity. You don't necessarily give up your source, but you tell them what you can do, like what the value is. So you don't say ABC estate sale company. You say we can get the most amount of money out of the personal property. So definitely have those bullet points and kind of a menu of the things you can do, but don't give up your sources, because that could be what makes them finally call you to say, hey, what's this about, getting the personal property taken care of? Oh, we actually have, part of our team is an estate sale company. And then once you've built rapport and had the appointment and they trust you, they're not going to go anywhere else. You can then do the handoff and give them the list of people if you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Makes sense?
I have one other question.
Sure.
Okay, so when you make these calls, because I made 15 of them, and so I'm going to make some more, the rest of them probably today or at the most tomorrow. But do you mention the fact that you've already sent them a mailing?
Yeah, so we find that warms it up. So, hey, this is Chad. I sent you a letter last week. I'm just following up to make sure you got it and you understood why we sent it. You remember seeing that? And
yeah,
it warms your call up. If they haven't gotten the letter and they start going down the rabbit hole of, no, I didn't see it. When did you send it? What was it in? What address did listen, never mind. So sidestep that completely, because they're going to take you down a rabbit hole and get distracted. So, you know what? Don't worry about it, Mr. Smith. I'll just kind of run through real quick. The reason we mailed you, we have a team that helps people who inherit people who families that are going through probate, and we actually are proactive. We go to the county, pull the records, and reach out to people like you to see if there's any way we can help. Is there any real estate in the estate that you could use a hand with? And just start the conversation from there.
Okay, I appreciate it. That's great.
Excellent. We have one more. We're going to run a little bit overtime today, guys. We try to keep this at 30 minutes, but this has been great. Nobody at the beginning, and we've had some great questions. The last questioner of the day is the phone number ending in 2048. You're up.
Hi, you can go ahead and skip me. I was actually going to chime in about the woman who was hoarding and the property that he was trying to sell.
Go right ahead. We all have.
Oh no! Once he had mentioned she's the final one to sign off on that. I was going to explain the legal strategies of eviction and things like that to get her out. But if she's the primary one on there that needs signed, then she has her life estate planned, so she's there. So.
Probably don't want to evict one of the owners. No.
Yeah, no. So that was a vital detail. Once he said that, it was, nope, you better pass that one off and move forward. So.
Excellent. All right. Well, this is a great call today, guys. Thank you to all of you who have participated. I always like to end these calls by challenging everybody who took the time to show up today. You had some great ideas, some great contributions. Take one thing that you heard today, just one idea, one system, one thing. Go out and implement it next week, and please come back next Thursday and share your success with us. Thank you so much, guys. Make it a great week. We'll talk to you same time next Thursday.